Psalm 84 is an especially beautiful psalm, which speaks of the longing that is deep within us for a place where we truly belong, where our souls find rest, where we are known and loved. Of course, in the Old Covenant era, that place was the courts in the temple, where the people of God would gather and they would worship God, and they would be literally, physically near his presence. But there are similar longings in every single person of any given era, and our ultimate hope is found not in an earthly building, but in the beloved Son of God, who died that we might enter glory and live with him forever. How lovely is your dwelling place, Lord Almighty. My soul yearns, even faints, for the courts of the Lord. My heart and my flesh cry out for the living God. The psalm opens with a statement that is not just theological, but is emotional. That word translated lovely speaks of something that is precious and beloved and dear to the heart. This is not the cold appreciation of architectural beauty. This is the warm affection for the place that we call home. Notice the depth of desire too. My soul yearns, even faints, we read. This is not casual interest. This is desperation. His heart and his flesh, every part of him, body and soul, yearns to be close to God. This speaks to something profound about human nature. We are created for relationship with him. And when that relationship is distant or broken, we experience a kind of spiritual homesickness. Augustine captured this beautifully well when he wrote, "You have made us for yourself, O Lord, and our hearts are restless until they find their rest in you." I think in our modern world, we see this restlessness everywhere. People searching for meaning in careers, relationships, experiences, possessions, always seeking but never quite finding that satisfaction that their souls crave. And the psalmist reminds us here that this longing isn't a weakness, it is an awareness that we were all made for more. We were made for relationship with God. From verse 3 comes the idea of finding our home in God's house. There's a beautiful image here. Even the sparrow has found a home, and the swallow a nest for herself, where she may have her young, a place near your altar. Lord Almighty, my King and my God. Not long ago, I was off for a walk near Old Harry Rocks, which is an especially beautiful part of the world. And a really strange thought struck me. Perhaps you've thought this sort of thing before, but first time it had occurred to me. There were just a handful of birds soaring through the skies around there. And I thought, how weird is it that a bird, given that it can make its home literally anywhere, right, free as a bird, would choose some grotty back alley and choose to plod around there rather than soar through the skies of Studland? Well, David here seems to have noticed the same sort of thing. He commends the birds that have made a home near the temple complex or even in the walls. They've made a permanent home and they just live there, near the presence of God. And he says that was wise. From verse 5, we are taken on a journey of people traveling into Jerusalem on one of these kind of pilgrim festivals. We read, "Blessed are those whose strength is in you, whose hearts are set on pilgrimage," as in those who would travel from miles around to get to the temple. As they pass through the valley of Baca, they make it a place of springs. The autumn rains also cover it with pools. They go from strength to strength till each appears before God in Zion. That phrase, "their hearts are set on pilgrimage," could literally be translated, "the highways are in their hearts." Meaning what? Well, meaning that long before this is a physical journey, it is a spiritual journey. Before they travel the roads, they travel the roads of righteousness. They move towards God in their lives. They must pass through the valley of Baca. Literally, that word means weeping. So they must pass through the valley of weeping. It's not an easy journey. They must endure seasons of sorrow and suffering and disappointment and confusion and loss and grief and heartache. But notice that they make it a place of springs. So God's people, empowered by his supernatural strength, bring life to barren places. They don't run out of strength. They are given strength to endure. They go from strength to strength, verse 7 says, till each appears before God in Zion. And so we endure the difficult journey because we know the destination is so incredibly worth it. As the psalmist tells us in verse 10, "Better is one day in your courts than 1,000 elsewhere." And again, that is ultimately true for us, not because of the earthly Jerusalem, but because of the heavenly Jerusalem. Not because of the earthly temple, but the heavenly temple that is the Son of God, destroyed for us, but then rebuilt in 3 days. The one who invites all his people to come and dwell in his presence forever and meet God. We may be on a journey that is hard and difficult at times, but one instant in his presence would eclipse a lifetime of sorrow and sadness. And so, if you are a pilgrim walking through this world on your way to glory, may God help you to fix your eyes upon him and give you the strength to keep on walking, safe in the knowledge that he will take you by the hand and he will lead you all the way home.